Kai has been the first Olympia runner-up for 3 consecutive years. Although he never won the title, he since has risen to become one of bodybuilding's biggest stars. Today, it seems that Kai's goals have shifted. He's no longer passionate about competing for titles. However, his passion for art and expression is stronger than ever. Kai, when I first met you a few years ago, your main goal in life, your main focus was to win Mr. Olympia. How would you describe you then versus you now?
Interesting question, I guess, because that was another time, I think another time in my life. I believed a lot more in another idea that today I don't believe in. I was looking for the trophy. I was looking for the medals, the new contracts. I wanted to be a champion. The first time I looked at a picture in the magazine and saw a muscular physique, I saw a limitless possibility. It's just a certain amount of awareness that you don't have yet, and I expected a large reward and ended up having to discover there's a higher ceiling than that. There's a larger stage than that.
I remember moments of achievement and being at a very high place, being at the center of a big stage with a lot of attention. And I can remember interviews. Well, how does it feel? What does it feel like? You see you on the cover of a magazine, or they see the microphones tilted toward you. But if you get a chance to see where they were starting from, you might find out that you have a hell of a lot more in common.
Kai Greene's an interesting read. Kai Greene came from the streets. He came from the bottom up. And I don't think Kai's dream was to be a professional bodybuilder. When you struggle, you come from a boys' home, I think you look just for a place to belong.
I remember being in an institutional facility, and one day in a meeting with the director of the facility, he said, "You leaving this place, we don't question your ability to survive." He said, "What I question is the quality of your survival." Fast forward, years later, what have you done?
For the last year, Kai has been working on his graphic novel, Chronicles of King Kai.
There was a time when the world would sooner see me as a 300-pound black guy with an 8-inch scar down the side of his face. He would know nothing about feelings of vulnerability. One thing that I've noticed, particularly when I was a kid, when drawing, I would see how people could turn around and, be so quick to judge what your project looked like in its earlier stage. When you're drawing or you're starting out, people are less likely to encourage you and think, "Oh, that doesn't look like it's supposed to look." There's a certain level of pressure that comes along with the spotlight that I think can be very easily overwhelming, maddening.
Kai's he's a very unique character. I mean, he's got a great body, obviously, but he creates a lot of mystique about him. Obviously, he's the best poser in bodybuilding. He's the most entertaining poser, that's for sure.
He's very friendly, and one-on-one, he's very real. If you get him at the right time, he'll spend an hour talking to you. You could be just, some woman or some man off the street, and if you ask him a question, he'll sit down and he won't answer it. He'll explain it in vivid detail. He's not like, "Oh yeah, thank you very much." He's like, "No, well, the reason this is that way is because the situation of the matter to the left."
Do you think some fans will turn away from Kai because he's not competing?
I think it didn't help him. I mean, he's always gonna be popular and he's always gonna be a big star, but I think it did hurt him, to tell you the truth. I do. The Olympia is the World Series. So for him to not do that, I thought was, in my opinion, not a good business decision.
Kai Greene and Phil Heath, Phil Heath was the winner, but Kai Greene was right there in popularity. And, he was getting more fan appeal than Phil Heath was.
Do you think Kai quit because he thought he couldn't win the Olympia?
I don't think in Kai's mind he really thinks that he can't beat Phil, because I think Kai's a warrior, and I think if he gets to it, he could beat anybody if he really wants to. Do you think he dropped out because of that?
Listen, man, it's been a long time coming. I get chills when I think about what's really happening here. You know, sometimes people really just don't know. This has been a long journey just to get to this point, and the seed is actually starting to bloom. Each day we get a step closer, and with each opportunity, we make history.
The industry is changing. You can't afford to be just an athlete. Everybody wants you to sell them something now. Sell me, sell me, sell me. Can my joints be as strong as yours are? Sell me the product. I don't know. I think this is a very interesting place we're at. Passion and love, I don't even know if they exist. I don't know if they exist.
Do you still push yourself in the gym as hard as you used to?
You know, when I was training with the belief in this other thing, you had reason to put 505 on 805 on your back and squat down to the floor and stand up and feel like everything in your body was gonna break, but you found a reason to do it. Now you wouldn't put half that on your back. You wouldn't, for what? Because, what? No, I mean, you know, balls to the wall. Everybody talks this bullshit now. Everybody wants to talk bullshit. What are we talking about? You haven't endured any injuries yet, you know, like I was when I was a teenager. The older guys in the gym couldn't talk to me when I was, no, hey, young guy, I was as strong as you when I was younger. I'd be like, you've never been as strong as me. You kidding me? I couldn't hear it.
It's a bucket. It's a bucket.
Now, it's a moment like now where I realize I don't have all the answers. Real talk, you know, and I probably have, on my own, never, ever had to ask myself this question. If I had to choose between one bucket or the other, for purposes of packaging, which would appeal more to me, the larger one or the smaller one? I'm always aiming for a target. I think being happy is a luxury that when you're working to get things done, sometimes it's just not an option. I want to work because I want to be successful, you know. I've spent too long in my life not successful and knowing what that feels like. I know what it's like to be broke. I know what it's like to just not have.
We have our own vision, and Kai has his own vision, and the direction that the brand is going, it's going to be great. Because it's the vision that we believe is right. I love seeing Kai evolve, and I love seeing him own things. You see people in the gym, and you know that person in the gym. But when they step out of the gym, you don't know who they are. And we're at that point now, we're showing people all these cool creative stuff that we're working on, acting, connecting one-on-one more with fans. There was a saying that someone told us once that, hey, if you have to go there, there's branches. And in order to move from one branch, you have to let go of another branch. And we're like, well, why can't we just have the entire tree?
Give me back my son.
All right, yeah.
So you taking this acting thing seriously?
Trying to take classes and you know, go to these auditions and get, you know, what's your technique? I mean, if you're not solid in it yet, or, you know, it can feel brutal. Like, You didn't say this line right. You mean I didn't say it right? I mean, what, you're gonna judge me on how I say things now?
Yes, girl. Like another spoonful of sugar. Of course I will.
As long as you see, no matter what you do, it takes the same effort. You know, if you want to be a bodybuilding champion, it takes hours and hours every day of being dedicated and being passionate about it. So if you switch that over now and you want to go and get into movies, you have to do the same thing. You know, like I did, for instance, I just took it as seriously as bodybuilding, and I took, you know, acting classes and accent removal classes, English classes, and all of those different things, and practiced and rehearsed, and it's kind of reps. The more often you do it, the more you do it, the better you get, because you have to go out there for interviews, you have to go out there and shine. When you walk into an office and you see 15 people sit there and they want you to read a part, they give you the pages and maybe a few minutes before. So the faster you adapt to those kind of things and the faster you can turn on and be the character, the better it's gonna be and the faster you're gonna get the job.
And I've got something I'm gonna recommend you for that might come down the pipe.
It's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you.
How many people get up in the morning and feel less than their best? I want to be successful. I just want to be successful. Being successful is one of those things that, you know, you don't have to think I'm very, very attractive. In fact, every time you look at me, you may just say, wow, his nose is just too big. And you know what? His lips just do not quite fit his face. And you know what? That scar down the right side of his face, what the hell happened? But you know, if I'm a success because I've worked really hard and I pay attention to the details that will allow me to grow beyond those limitations, you know, and I've found they will still put you on the cover of the magazine, even if they thought you were ugly, because there's still value.